My name is Harvey Bronstein, and I'm 84 years old. I was born in Detroit, and I lived in the Detroit area all my life. My grandfather I was close with, and he was kind of a little mentor to me when he had time. My father's parents were different. My grandfather was religious, and he would say on a Sunday, "Did you daven today? Did you pray today?" And if I said yes, he said, "Oh, good boy." And if I said no, he says, "Good boy, you told the truth." My wife is Marion Fine Bronstein. We went together for 6 months, and she broke us up for about a year. And one day she called me, and that's when we went back together. That was in '64, and then we got married the next year, about a year and a half later. We have 4 children and 8 grandchildren. One of the things you want to do when you're on Earth, you want to have children and grandchildren, and you want to see them do well, so it's important to me. I'm a retired professor at Oakland Community College. I mentored a lot of students. Not too long ago, a woman came up to me, she says, "I have an art business," and she said, "You helped me along all those years ago." That means so much to me. I'm a community activist, political activist. I'm certainly a father. I'm certainly a grandfather. But my number one center of my focus is being Jewish. That's the focus of my life. Over the years, I've been involved with the following agencies, starting with Israel Bond's New Leadership. I had the distinction of starting a speaker series. Started out local speakers. We had statewide, we had national, 21,000 total audience over 18 years. I've been very involved for 50 years with the Young Israel Southfield, held many positions, including president. I was an advisor to Jewish Family Service. I was a board member, very active member of the Jewish Community Council. I was on the Jewish Historical Society board, active with the Hillel Metro Detroit. I was a board member. I was advisor on the campus, and I'm still on the advisory board. I am a lifetime board member of the Jewish Federation. I'm active with Hillel Day School and Frankel Jewish Academy on a regular basis. I was advisor for Kids Kicking Cancer. I also am active and close with many political leaders. I've served on 3 commissions for the city of Southfield. The whole Jewish community, but particularly the Federation, is a big part of my life. I learned something. The bus only comes once. In Detroit and Israel, I went up to people, and you just go up. If you do, they'll talk to you. Your job on this earth is to make the world better. That's what I try and do every day. I look at the end of the day and say, who did I talk to? What did I accomplish today?
My name is Barbara Bloom, and I'm 87 years old. I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Michigan. It was a neighborhood that mostly Jewish people lived in. And at that time, everybody knew who everybody was and took care of everyone else. My mother joined a group called Infant Service to take care of indigent Jewish families with a new baby from birth to 5 years of age. And that was the beginning of thinking about helping other people. On Fridays, we would go to my grandparents' house for Shabbos. I was told I was Jewish, but I really did not know what that meant. In time, I met Douglas Bloom. And Douglas Bloom said to me, "It's important for me to be Jewish." And he said, "I want to be active in the community." And I said to him, "Why don't we get married tonight?" It was an opportunity for me to be comfortable and find meaning about my Jewishness. Because I was visually creative, that was one of the ways I was able to interact with the community. I created murals in the first home for women with disabilities. I worked with dear friends, and we did some bulletin boards for Federation. And I did a huge birthday cake in honor of Jark's anniversary. One of the things I've done that makes me smile, creating life-size cutouts of the honorees. And I've learned lately that some of the people have even taken cutouts to different occasions. The matzah factory was Douglas and I having the opportunity to be hands-on. It would bring different generations together, and the whole world opens up to you. I think I'm so lucky that I've had the experience of being a grandparent and a parent. They're all fabulous. I have the good fortune of being able to help other people and learning that that's what our charge is. That's happened for me.
My name is Allan Nachman. I'm 87 years old. I was born in Detroit. My dad, who was a builder, built a house on Kentucky, which ended up being across the street from Mumford High School. We were friends with most of the people. I went to school with the kids that were right down my block. I have fond memories of Adat Shalom because a lot of the kids that I went to school with, their families all belonged there. One of the things that I remember with great affection is the fact that a lot of the summers I'd work with my dad, and that had some impact on what I finally ended up doing, and I pursued my career in real estate law. I went to the University of Michigan, undergrad and law school, and I saw a girl across the way that looked beautiful to me and went up to meet her, and we ended up 5 or 6 months later getting married. And we always talk about the fact that the way we were 40 or 50 years ago and the way we are today has changed for the better. I'm very proud of her. Then we adopted our children. David has 4 young children, and Ilana has 2 boys. I'm hoping that my grandchildren will pick up on some of the things I did. When I went up to U of M, they had U of M Hillel. That was just my destiny, to be involved in Hillel, which I was for a number of years while I was an undergrad there. When I came back to Detroit, I just naturally gravitated to the Jewish Federation. They had a junior division, which became Next Gen. Camp Tamarack attracted me, so I started going to the board meetings of Fresh Air Society. I think the experience that I had that probably was the most meaningful to me, the teen missions that I led, to be with the young kids who were 10th, 11th graders in Israel for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. It's very meaningful to me, and I felt I was giving back to the community by helping form the trip, lead the trip. I'm proud of my involvement in Jewish Federation, but also the United Foundation. I was involved in the Detroit Institute of Arts. I chaired the contemporary arts section of it. I'm involved in the Detroit Opera on the board. Most recently, 12 or 13 years ago, Sandy and I formed Cabaret 313. We have 5 or 6 performances a year, bringing in Broadway stars. And I'm proud that it's still around and still thriving. I think that was a challenge, but I think we've met it. As I look back on my life, everything I do, especially in the community with our family, I think it's all because of the values that were instilled in me by my mom and dad. What I'm hoping I will be remembered for perhaps is following these values, cherishing these values, passing on the love of these values to my family and to others.
My name is Carol Nancy Kent, and I'm 82 years old. I was born in Detroit. I grew up in the Dexter Davison community. I had lots of friends, and it was a very Jewish feeling in the neighborhood. When I was in Sunday school in 3rd grade, we used to watch movies of the Israeli pioneers, and at that time, I knew that was the beginning of my strong connection to Israel. Every Friday night we had Shabbat dinner at home. We had candles and wine, challah, and my mother insisted that we eat our Shabbat dinner together before I could go out with my friends. I was the first woman to graduate with a doctorate in industrial arts education from North Carolina State University. Throughout my career, the single thread was the field of disability, whether it be young children, adults, or their families. And I felt that I actually made a difference in many lives. I began tutoring a Chinese young woman when she got her first job after graduating from Eastern, and they wanted her to improve her English. She graduated with honors, and I helped her pick out her engagement ring. I helped organize her wedding, and she's doing great. And so I became her American mom. I have one son, and I was a late-in-life mom, and he has been a blessing, and I'm very grateful to have been able to raise him to adulthood. My son moved to Israel, and I would go and volunteer through Volunteers for Israel with Sarel, living and working on an Army base. I'm on the national board. I was regional manager for Michigan, and I continue to help develop new programs in Israel. They say that Israel is every Jew's home. When I'm there, I really feel it. Jews are charged with the mission of being a light for the nations. I hope that in some small way, that's what I have been.
My name is Jimm White, and I am 82. I was born in the Army Air Corps Hospital at Langley Field, Virginia, and grew up in Owasso, Michigan. We had the family bakery for 80 years, and so I worked in the bakery before school every morning. Got my airplane pilot's license before I graduated from high school, and I was sure that I was going to be the first in our family to graduate from college. Then graduated from Michigan and got 2 law degrees from Wayne State University Law School. The memory that stands out more than anything else is my conversion ceremony to Judaism. And my parents cried all the way down and cried all the way back after it, but they were there. It's given me a chance to be a part of a community that is both ancient and modern. And it's a fascinating journey this way. A friend asked me to join the Salvation Army's Metro Detroit Advisory Board. Now, I have served for over 50 years with the Salvation Army in one category or another. I was invited to become president of Temple Israel along the way, and for the last dozen or so years, I've been a docent at the Holocaust Center. That is a wonderful position to have, because you can tell people about Judaism, but actually the scope to me is much bigger, and that's telling people that we're part of various communities, and we must have a sight broader than just our own community. People really pay attention not only to the story of the Holocaust, but how communities can work together. I met Lillian at High Holidays one year, and then years later, I saw Lillian running the Usher Corps, and I really liked what I saw. And so we started dating, and now we've been married 24 years, and I'm hoping for another 24. I have 3 daughters and 5 grandchildren. To me, family means you're always there for each other. Beyond that, nobody can control anything, but you can control being there for the members of your family. What is amazing to me is the life's journey that I've been on, to go from Protestant Christian to have been active in this community is something I never would have anticipated. I can't wait to see what God has in mind for me next.
My name is Diane Klein, and I'm 83 years old. I'm a Detroiter by birth, and I have lived my whole life in Detroit. My core is from a Jewish heritage. I remember more than anything else just family seders, and it was a wonderful way to celebrate the holiday. My mother got together with many of her friends, and they started the Jewish Parents Institute at the Jewish Center. I think a lot of my love of what I've been doing all these years since has been because of that framework. I was lucky enough to go to the University of Michigan. I always wanted to be a teacher. I loved kids. I was a counselor at what was Fresh Air Camp. And then I signed a contract to work in the city of Detroit. And that was an awakening for me. That's where I really learned to be a teacher. Emery and I married in 1967. We had a beautiful marriage, and he told me that he survived Auschwitz as a teenager. At the darkest time, he promised himself that if he survived, he would spend his life doing good for people and the Jewish community. And I think because of that, we were asked to go on a mission to Israel. It was in 1977, but it started me on a path that has continued to this day and has really guided my life. So I decided that I was going to be a volunteer, a professional volunteer, and treat it with every bit of seriousness had I been working as a teacher. In 1983, I found myself as president of what was called then the Greater Detroit Chapter of Hadassah. There were 7,000 members. Then I was also, in the late 90s, president of the Women's Philanthropy of Detroit. That was an important part of my life. My kids went to Tamarack. My grandchildren started Tamarack and went all the way through to Alaska trips and were counselors. It was my pleasure to be on the board for probably a dozen years and to be an officer. I think every Jewish kid should have an opportunity to go through a Jewish camping experience. After Emery died, I never expected to be close to anyone again, and then I met Jeffrey Maisels, and we've been together for 11 years. It has been a wonderful new part of my life. I have a wonderful family that I'm so proud of. I'm just love the way they've turned out and love the way they treat each other. My grandchildren are delightful human beings. I cherish the time I spend with them, and I look to them for carrying on my legacy. You only have one lifetime, and I think you have to use it wisely. I'm proud that I did my part.
My name is Richard Shapack, and I'm 84, but not quick to admit it. I was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and after we moved to Michigan, my maternal grandparents had been members back in the 1920s of Temple Bethel. So have been there ever since and was on the board for a number of years back, probably 15 years or so ago. It was a close-knit family. Really, in terms of my maternal grandparents, my parents, aunts, uncles. After high school, I went into the Naval Academy. From there, served on nuclear submarines, and we would be out for 10 weeks at a time. People would say, "How often did you come to the surface?" We didn't. Coming off of the submarine after 10 weeks and met a redhead, so at that point, waited until his second date before we got engaged. And we've been here ever since. It's 50 years. Navy was kind enough to send me to Harvard to the MBA program, and following it, moved me back to do systems engineering in Washington, D.C. At that point, still working full-time, I also started and went through law school. In fact, really it was a little bit crazy because to finish it in 3 years required one particular semester where I was working 50 hours a week and carrying 17 credit hours. She's the one who gets the credit for dealing, because at that point the boys were like 1 in 3. I've been involved with Rotary going back to 1977. I was on the board for Bar Ilan for a number of years, president for the Harvard Business School Club of Michigan. We started with the program sending a nonprofit leader to a one-week executive course at Harvard. We've got 80-some people who've been through this program. I sit on the board at Gesher. I've made the point that more than half of the people served by Gesher are non-Jews. I want that word to get out. I care about people, period. The wealthiest people I've ever known were my maternal grandparents, and they didn't have any money. It was the way they treated each other, the way they treated everybody that was really magnificent. So that's where it came from. Our children and grandchildren have seen how we treat people. Am I proud of them? Yes. Very heavily involved, doing a lot of good work. I am incredibly grateful for the skills that I have, and I'm delighted to be able to put them to work to help those who need that.
My name is Claire Ettlinger Kretchmer, and I'm 88 years old. I grew up in Northwest Detroit. There were 17 kids on my block of all ages. I went to Bagley School and had a wonderful childhood. My mother started volunteering when she was a young mother. She felt people were left out on holidays, so we always had extra people at the dinner table, particularly widows. My mother did a tremendous amount of volunteer work, from Sinai Hospital to Temple Bethel to making food for USO. Whatever she could do, she seemed to do it. So I was introduced to volunteer work very young. I was very fortunate enough not to have to go out to work, and I could give my time to philanthropic things. When I had children, I was active in PTA. I was the treasurer of the nursery school. I was on the board of Huntington Woods. The first thing I did as an adult, I did Meals on Wheels for probably 50 or 60 years. NCJW has been a tremendous part of my life, and I've felt that I have grown to be the person I am today, mostly due because of the different things that council gave me. I was chair of many things within council, and also I became a vice president. So I made a tremendous amount of friends. It's been wonderful. I feel very fortunate. I was married to Arthur Michael Kretchmer for 53 years. And of course, it's never long enough, but that was the love of my life, and that was my best friend. We have 2 children, grown children, or have children of their own. That's the best thing that ever happened, because they're wonderful, kind, giving children. They were so thrilled when I told them that I was getting this honor. My grandson said, "Grandma, what took him so long? You're almost 88. In my spare time, I play mahjong and canasta, and I'm in a book club. And at night, I play rummikub. And all these things are wonderful with people, because the companionship and the camaraderie is very important, particularly as you get older. I've had a very, very blessed life. I think I'm proud of that I've done some good in this world, truly.
The advice that I would give young people today is to make sure part of their life is giving back.
To think, to question, to doubt.
Volunteer whenever you're able.
Make space in that life of yours to do good for other people.
Your job on this earth is to make the world better.
Don't judge other people. How can you help? How can you be meaningful to them, and how do you treat them?
If it's in a personal relationship, if in a community relationship, the more you give, the more it comes back.
You have to stand up for what you believe and look at people that don't have what you are fortunate enough to have, and go out and do some good in this world.